What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. I hope that's a good distance. Let me know if my mic levels are okay. I'll try to keep it around this distance. I have a very bad habit of trying to move it closer to my face, but this mic is very sensitive. Um, 5 stages when your ex regrets the breakup. This is not the whole no contact thing, I don't think, but I do. I'm wary about five this and 15 that, but Coach Lee has fantastic credibility. But here's like Brad Brown right here: 15 signs your ex will come back after a breakup. Like you can tell these are like marketing things, and I've tried to steer away. Yeah, I've done it a couple of times, but anyway, let's check this out.
This is Coach Lee, and I'm going to talk to you about 5 stages when your ex regrets the breakup. So, the first thing that your ex will feel when they're regretting the breakup is that they simply don't like the doubt. And this happens with a lot of things in life. Sometimes the waiting is the hardest part, and you're experiencing that if you are the one who has been broken up with, because you're probably applying the no contact rule that I talk about a lot, and you're wondering what's going to happen. When am I going to hear from them? Am I going to hear from them? And so, a lot of that doubt and not knowing is the hardest part of all of this. And they will experience some of that too if they start to feel regret about their decision to break up with you. They won't like knowing if you are moving away from them, if you are reaching a point where you're feeling okay without them, where you feel like you could move on, where you realize you can stay away from them, because we all have egos, and your ex has an ego. No matter how wonderful of a person they are, they want to feel like you are attracted to them and that you are having difficulty without them. That's just how it is. And when they start to have doubt that maybe you're handling this okay, that maybe it's not too difficult for you to be away from them, that this whole breakup is something that you're just handling with style and grace, it can really cause doubt in their mind. And
That's what happened with me. That's what happened with me. With when my exes dumped me, it was they were baffled by my ability to completely be okay and not beg and not plead. Okay, to be fair, the very first girl when I was 17 years old, I did beg and plead, but the breakups after that, I didn't. And even with that girl that I did beg and plead with, as soon as I gave the space and respected the space, that's when she really started thinking about coming back around, because she started to have days, weeks. We were split up for I think 2 months, so days and weeks where she didn't have me. She didn't have that routine, and this was before smartphones became big, right? So, I actually had to call her. I didn't have I had a cell phone, but it was a flip phone, right? And texting was fucking horrible back then. So you had to call each other, and she told me, "Don't call me, don't." So that's what happened with me, guys. I just want to let you guys know.
they will think that they would rather see you struggling with this and trying to get them back. So the second stage, when your ex regrets the breakup, is when they want you to bail them out of this. So they're not seeing you struggle with this. They're wanting to see that because that will make them feel like they're attractive and that you just can't get over them because they are just so wonderful. And they will want you to bail them out of that feeling and of that concern that maybe you could move on and just be fine. And so sometimes what they'll do is they'll actually contact you and they'll want you to say that you've missed them. They'll want you to be talking to them as though you're just so glad to hear from them and that you've been miserable without them. Sometimes I've heard where they will say things like, I wish we were still together, but I just can't be in a relationship right now.
Which is such a bummer, dude. Like, I have coaching students that have gone through that. Like, I keep in contact with my coaching students, right? And they'll be like, "Hey, Kyle, what does this mean?" And they'll get that exact message. And that's even better still than what was there. So, and I'm like, man, like, because sometimes it's a breadcrumb. Sometimes they want to know that you're still interested and care, but it's not fair. It's not fair to the person, right? So, if you guys get those kinds of messages, the best thing for you to do is relax, okay? Because look, when you get those kinds of messages, you're gonna get all riled up. Your stomach's gonna get in knots, and you're like, okay, what do I say? What do I say? I have students reach out to me and say that. So, I just say, I tell the guys first of all to calm down and stay calm, but and then I usually say wait a little while to respond to the text and say, yeah, I wish we were together too, but things just didn't work out, right? And when you say something like that, it's almost like you're accepting the breakup, right? Which is communicating strength. Anytime that you can communicate strength to an ex is going to be a good thing. And if you're just remember, we're thinking opposites. What does begging and pleading look like? Oh my God, please, yes, I want to be together. I want to be together. Oh my God, yeah. Blah, blah. But when you're like, yeah, you know what? It sucks that didn't work out, but you know, shit happens, right? Hope you're doing well, and you just move on from the conversation. Um, it's not going to be an answer they expect. So
Things that
anyway,
sound really profound and like it's just so complex when it's really not. Because the bottom line is, if you want to be with someone badly enough, you will find a way. But what they want to hear from you is they
facts.
want to hear you say, I do too. And then to say, why can't we? Let's just be together, please. And you just, without even realizing it, you start begging. It's like a sucker punch in a lot of ways, because a lot of times clients will be strong in no contact and they've done really well, and their ex will get to this stage and the ex reaches out, or they come to get their things and they start with this kind of thing where, I wish we were still together. I wish there was a way. I miss you. And the person thinks, this is the moment I was waiting for. And so they start to basically have an argument to try to get this person to take them back. And they don't even realize what they're doing, because it seems like the door has been opened where the person says, I wish we were together. And of course, the logical response is, then let's be together. Why can't we be? And that's exactly what your ex actually wants to happen. And they couldn't put it into words. They wouldn't say, I want you to argue with me and beg me to come back to you. But that's what they feel. Why? Because it reassures them that yes, they are that attractive and you want them back and you want to be with them, and they don't have to worry about you getting too far away, because it feels like you will eternally want them. Now, later they'll realize that that's not true, but at the moment, it basically gives them that fix to where they can just go back to feeling good again. Sort of like the day of the breakup. And I don't mean that your ex enjoyed breaking up with you, but they have this interesting sense of contentment in that even though they did something difficult and they know they hurt you, they have this relief that it's over with because it is something they wanted to do, but they also feel that they are so attractive and that's why you're miserable. And so in some ways, it's a trade-off. Yes, they don't want to hurt you, but man, it feels good to know that you're hurting because you can't be with them, because that makes them feel really sexy, attractive, desired, all those things that most people really like feeling. And so basically, when they stop feeling it or they feel like that it's in jeopardy, they want you to bail them out. And so they will bait you into begging them to come back to you only so they can dump you again. Sneaky little rats, aren't they? Before I get to stage 3, please take a quick second and click the subscribe button below so you can be notified when I have more videos. And be sure to hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when a new one comes out. Stage 3 is where your ex gets into a rebound. Now, it doesn't always happen, but it's something that can happen, and usually it happens at about this stage. And it's where your ex is fighting all that doubt that they felt. And maybe they've baited you to try to bail them out, and they got a little relief from that, or maybe they didn't, but they think that this relationship will basically allow them an outlet for romance, boredom, loneliness, without going back to you, because they don't want to lead you on. They don't want to have to go through the breakup again, especially if you were dramatic and difficult with the process. They don't want to have to go through that again, which means they're not really sure they want to be back together with you. And so basically a rebound is when they haven't given themselves enough time to naturally heal from a relationship. If you can just jump into a relationship after you've been in a serious one, then either you are doing it prematurely and this relationship is probably destined for failure, or you just haven't given yourself enough time to heal and you're trying to force something. And again, it's destined for failure.
I've always said that, guys. When you get out of a relationship, and your ex should be doing this too, you should be healing first. And that's why I get so many people to focus on Sedona Method, Letting Go by David Hawkins, just learning, and psychocybernetics, which is here. Okay, so I don't know why that's so high. Anyway, should I do ASMR content? Shit. So, this is a fantastic book, and this is one of the original content ideas that I wanted to come up with. It's not even original content, really. I'm, taking notes from a fucking book, but talking about identity, right? A lot of people don't like the idea of facing their own pain, and they've become identified with avoiding pain. Some people will call this an avoidant attachment style, I guess, maybe. I don't know. But, and that's something I do definitely need to make content about, especially reaction kind of content, because I've avoided looking up attachment styles, but I keep hearing about them, and I'm okay, I'll take a look, because if I remain ignorant and people are actually believing it, then I should probably understand what it is. So anyway, just start healing. And if your ex gets into a rebound, understand, but remember that Steven Speaks video. If you guys didn't see that, go back and look at it. It was a couple days ago, and he talks about you don't know the full picture, you don't know the full story. And that's why I love doing these reaction videos, because I don't ever consume other coaches' content. I don't. I never did until now. I've seen obviously like Rich Cooper stuff, but those are like more red pill guys. And now that I'm watching other coaches, I see why you guys do it, because they come up with certain ideas and certain ways of speaking that I just never did, and it just adds to my knowledge. So Steven said, I think it's Steven. I don't know if he said Steven or Stefan. I'm just going to say Steven. So he said, you don't know the full story. So when somebody gets into a rebound relationship, you don't know why they're doing it. So you don't want to start making assumptions. And again, you're still focused on their energy anyway. So what you need to do is take that focus back, because what you think about and you focus on is it's using a lot of energy. So put it back onto yourself and make sure that you're focused on your goals. So let's go.
Sometimes people who are addicted to love, where they experience limerence, which I have a video about limerence and the chemicals associated with that, where people just want that high that comes with a new relationship and all those fireworks, and they don't understand how real love works, and they will jump from relationship to get that beginning.
I've seen that shit before. Have you?
Comment to get that chemical high associated with a new relationship. And so sometimes that can be at play. But if they know that it's there, if they know that they can escape loneliness and they can get some of that ego boost without getting back together with you, so that they don't risk hurting you again, but they also don't have to risk the drama, and they can basically still sort of keep things in limbo. Because if they think you want them badly enough, they don't think that being in a relationship with someone else is going to deter you. And so a lot of times I've observed that when they do bait you to bail them out and you fall for it, that makes it more likely that they will get into a rebound, because they assume you'll still be there. And so they can kind of try things with this person, have some fun, get some of that newness, that limerence that happens at the beginning of a new relationship. They can experience that. And then they want you back, they can still get you back. That's how they are thinking a lot of times after a breakup, in these stages of regret. And I know how frustrating it is. Another stage of regret that can happen sometimes when they've been in a rebound for just a couple of weeks and they don't hear anything from you because you're staying strong in no contact. You're not calling them or texting them and saying, what are you doing? You're already with someone, and you're not showing jealousy. You're doing the right things. A lot of times they feel that loss. They feel that risk, that fear of loss, and they will actually just come right back to you. And they'll say, I want to get back together. And this is the most difficult reaction to deal with, because you think you've gotten exactly what you wanted. No contact has worked like a charm. It's even busted the rebound. It's made it to where this person has come back to you. And whereas it is a positive, it's a very tricky situation, because if things get back to how they were too quickly, it's anticlimactic. And basically, it will cause something similar to depression in your ex, who's now your boyfriend or girlfriend again. And they will actually think, oh, I was right the first time, because now I feel this downness. I feel this drop in attraction. I feel like we've gotten back into this lull in this routine that I didn't like anymore, and they'll break up with you again. That's why it's so important after a breakup to be reserved, to move slowly, not to give it back to them all at once. You need time. You both need to feel like you have earned it again, like you've built back that label or that status. It's really important. And so don't fall for, we're just going to get back together as though nothing happened and everything is back like it was, because when it happens too quickly, they'll leave again just as quickly.
That's completely true. I see a lot of guys saying, let's just pick up where we left off. I see that and hear that a lot. And it's because they're so desperate to get back to where things were cool and loving and happy. And again, dependent on that woman to make them happy. I coach mostly men, so I'm going to speak from that perspective. And it's just not good. Like, there's so much, going through a breakup is a lot more like serious. I know you guys are all feeling it and experiencing pain when you're going through it. It's serious, more serious than people think, because coming back and starting over with somebody, there needs to be a lot of healing done and hindsight, right? And jumping right back into things, you don't see things the way that you're supposed to until you process the emotions and you go through things. So that's why jumping into a rebound is also a bad idea.
Quickly, and they're less likely to return, or at least it takes a lot longer because they want to be sure this time. So just be careful. When your ex starts moving towards you, let them be the one who's moving faster. You show reserve, and even say it. Even say, I'm open to getting back together, but I want to take it one day at a time. I'm not sure yet.
That's exactly what I've said to my students to say. Let's see where this goes. Let's take it nice and slow. It's actually a very powerful thing that you can do, because again, you're trying to communicate strength, and anytime that you are hasty It's going to subcommunicate weakness. It's going to be almost, I don't want to say childish, but it kind of is. Because people who are rationally thinking, logically thinking, not emotionally acting, they will think about it for a sec. Because look, if you think about it from an energetic and, even just a bird's eye view of it all, going through a breakup is hard and rough, and it takes time. It takes a lot of pain, patience, right? And when you logically think about it, getting back together with somebody, anybody who respects themselves and respects their self-esteem, respects their, their feelings and thoughts, they're going to take time letting an ex back in. You being the dumpy have to take time letting your ex come back in, the dumper, letting them come back in. Because if you just rush back into it, they're going to assume that you are easy. And they're going to assume that you are acting emotional and not logic. So when you logically say, let's take time, I don't know yet, we'll see, you're acting from a place of strength. Just running back into it is not a good idea. I never suggest that. I also suggest sometimes just completely walking away. Sometimes that is a good idea. Anyways, continue.
They may get mad because, again, it hurts the ego. They think that you would just be so happy to have them back because you desire them. You want them so bad that you would take them no matter how you can get them. And so they think that you would just obviously take them back under any circumstances. And so, yeah, it's a shot to the ego, and they might get mad. You stay calm. And you say, well, like I said, I'm open to it. I understand it's a difficult situation, but we can take it one day at a time if you want to. When you don't match their anger, it's a powerful response. When you can stay calm in these situations, it shows strength. And that's attractive. So before I get to the fifth stage, take a look at my emergency breakup kit. I'll link to it in the description below. It's a culmination of my 20 years in the relationship coaching service, and it can help you get...
Damn, this dude's been coaching people for 20 years. When did you start? When you were fucking 13?
Get your ex back. It's taking you by the hand and leading...
How old is this guy? He looks young as hell.
...you to get your ex back. Take a look at that. That's the emergency breakup kit in the description below. Number 5, in terms of stages of your ex regretting the breakup. At this point, your ex is really getting tired, exhausted of the doubt of not knowing if you're able to move on, if they might lose you, and they're unsure if they want the relationship or they want the breakup. And so to basically give themselves sort of an insurance policy or a backup plan, they will tell you they want friendship, because that way they think they can kind of keep you close enough, just in case. And they can keep an eye on you, they can monitor you. They don't have to feel like that by not interacting with you that you're slowly getting further away. They can maybe even keep you romantically interested in them so that you won't go be with somebody else. And so it's not always this, well, they just want to keep the friendship alive. They just want to at least keep what we had before the relationship. It's not always so simple and pure and innocent. A lot of times it's because they want to feel like they can do whatever they want, and you'll just stay on the hook right here and they can keep an eye on you. And it can also be because they want to absorb all that desire. They want to feel that from you. They want to feel that you are just sitting there wanting to be with them. And yet the answer is no, because they're just so high above you. Now, again, they probably wouldn't put it into words like that and would be offended if you suggested that that's what they were doing. But that's more of a gut feeling that they have. They're wanting to feel something, and they feel like if they do this, that they can still feel it. So it's not quite as thought out and premeditated as I described, but it is something that they want, and it is a reason behind them doing it. So those are the stages that your ex goes through when they're regretting a breakup. This is Coach Lee, and I'm going to talk to you about...
Okay. What do you guys think? I think Coach Lee is good. This man, he really is. I know you guys love him. I know the people that are Coach Lee, fans who are fans of his are like diehard fans. Guys, remember, stay focused. Anytime that they are, trying to play games with you, I know it seems like this whole X-Back stuff seems like a barrel of games, and it kind of is in a way. But relationships themselves are especially in the modern, like today, it's going to be complicated. It's hard. So I think the best message for me to tell you is to again, remain purpose and mission focused. Usually things will fall back into place a lot easier that way. And you can focus on making yourself the best individual you can. Somebody who spreads kindness and isn't a fucking piece of shit, you know? And that's my goal. That is always my goal, is to help the guys that are coming out of this angry, grief-ridden, you know, apathetic, you know, lustful stage. I'm thinking of egg flap, of course. Apathy, grief, fear, lust, anger, pride. Just in case you guys forget. I know it's an awful acronym. Egg flap sounds like egg flap. And taking them and bringing them over to CAP, courage, acceptance, and peace. As soon as and then in that time, installing new software so that you can see the world through a different lens that will help serve you, which will then help serve whoever you decide to date later. If it's your ex, cool. If it's another girl, even better, right? That's always my goal. Okay? I'll see you guys in the next one. Coaching's down.